Hi, my buddies. Welcome back to another episode of English with Luna. My name is Luna, and today we're going to talk about something I know many of you struggle with: staying motivated while learning English. I know it's not easy. You start so excited, you watch videos, you study words, but after a while, motivation fades, right? And then you start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe learning English is too hard, and your energy goes away. But don't worry, because today we're going to explore how you can keep your motivation alive even when things feel tough. I'll share with you some tips, some small habits, and some ways of thinking that can help you feel more confident and excited about learning every day. So grab a cup of tea, sit comfortably, and let's dive into this episode together. Let's start. So let's talk about motivation. I know how it feels. You wake up in the morning with energy, you decide today is the day you'll finally practice, you open your English notebook or you start watching a video, and then halfway through it disappears. That excitement you had? Gone. And suddenly you feel tired, distracted, maybe even a little frustrated with yourself. It's normal. Seriously, it's completely normal. The truth is, learning a language is not a straight road. It's not like a race where every day you have to run faster or win something. It's more like a journey with small steps, sometimes uphill, sometimes flat, sometimes even a little backward. And in that journey, motivation will naturally go up and down. You're not failing because some days you feel lazy or tired. You're human. Another thing that happens is that many learners feel guilty when motivation fades. You think, I should be practicing more. I should be consistent. I should already speak better. And that guilt makes you want to give up even faster. But let me tell you something. That guilt is a trap. It tells your brain that learning English is stressful, and when your brain feels stressed, motivation disappears even more. So here's the first thing I want you to notice. It's okay to feel tired or unmotivated sometimes. It doesn't mean you're lazy or bad at English, it just means you're human. And the key is not to fight that feeling. The key is to accept it and find small ways to move forward anyway. That's how real progress happens. And today, in this episode, we're going to explore those small ways together. I'll show you practical steps to keep your energy alive, to keep speaking, reading, and listening, even when motivation feels low. And most importantly, I want you to feel understood. I want you to know that I've been there too. I know how frustrating it feels when you want to learn, but your brain refuses to cooperate. And that's exactly why I want to share this episode with you, because learning English should feel exciting, not stressful. All right, now let's talk about the methods that really help when motivation starts to fade. Because here's the thing, motivation alone is not enough. You can be motivated today, but tomorrow life happens. You're tired, busy, distracted, and suddenly your motivation disappears. So what we need is a method, a way to keep going even when motivation feels low. The first thing I want you to do is create small, daily habits that don't feel like a chore. And I mean really small. For example, if you have 10 minutes a day, use them to read one short paragraph in English, or listen to a short podcast, or even just say 5 sentences out loud describing your day. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. One tiny step every day adds up in a way that is almost invisible at first, but after a few weeks, you notice a big difference. Another powerful method is to connect English to your interests. If you like music, listen to English songs and pay attention to the lyrics. If you like series, watch short clips and try repeating what the characters say. Don't worry about grammar mistakes. Don't worry about speaking perfectly. Focus on enjoyment. When learning is enjoyable, motivation doesn't need to force itself. It flows naturally. One thing that really helps, and this is a tip many learners don't know, is what I call micro-speaking practice. This means talking to yourself out loud even if no one is listening. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's incredibly effective. You can describe your actions as you do them. I'm making tea. I'm sitting on my chair. I'm opening the window. It sounds simple, but it forces your brain to produce English in real time. Your mouth starts moving with the language, your thoughts start forming in English, and slowly your brain begins to connect words with actions and feelings without fear. Another method is to use scripts from your favorite shows or podcasts. You can print or download a short scene from a series like Friends or any show you love. Then read it out loud as if you are one of the characters. Don't just read, act it. Use your voice, your emotions, your gestures. You're practicing rhythm, intonation, and expression. And this method works even if you don't fully understand every word. Your brain learns patterns, your mouth learns movement, and your confidence grows. Next, I want you to understand the power of repetition. And I don't mean repeating the same thing 10 times in a boring way. I mean repetition with slight variations. For example, you read a sentence in a script, then try to say it again, adding a small detail. I'm drinking water becomes I'm drinking cold water, or I'm drinking water because I'm thirsty. These tiny changes make repetition feel creative. It also trains your brain to keep producing sentences in English, not just memorizing them. Finally, let's talk about accountability. Motivation disappears when you feel alone, so find a way to connect with English daily. This doesn't have to be a formal class or a group. It can be a friend you text in English, a community online where people share small daily practices, or even talking to me here in this podcast by repeating sentences or ideas. Knowing that someone else will notice or that you are participating in something keeps your energy alive. And remember, all these methods work together. Micro-speaking practice, reading scripts, repeating with small variations, connecting English to your interests, and finding some form of accountability. Each one alone helps, but together they create a system that keeps your motivation alive, even when you feel tired or frustrated. And this is the kind of system that makes English learning sustainable for years, not just a few weeks of excitement followed by burnout. So today, I encourage you to pick one method that feels easiest and start small. Don't worry about doing everything perfectly. Don't worry about doing it every single day at first. Just start. The most important part is to begin practicing, to begin speaking, to begin creating tiny wins. And as you keep practicing, you'll notice a shift. Your motivation will start to follow your action, not the other way around. Action creates motivation. Speaking, listening, repeating, and enjoying, these are the things that will keep you moving forward, step by step, day by day. Now, let's take a moment to be completely honest with each other. Learning English is not always fun. Sometimes it feels exhausting. Sometimes it feels like you're moving forward, and then suddenly everything slows down. And that feeling, it's completely normal. I want you to really hear me here. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel tired. And it's okay to feel like you're not making progress. I know many of you start strong, and after a few days or weeks, motivation disappears. You think, maybe English is too hard for me, or maybe I'm just not good at languages. But that is just your mind interpreting the natural process of learning as failure. It's not failure. It's part of the process. Every learner goes through this. I've been there. Every English learner has been there. And the difference between those who continue and those who give up is not talent. It's understanding that these feelings are normal. You might feel lazy or distracted, and you might even compare yourself to others online who seem to speak effortlessly. But remember, everyone has these moments. Even native speakers sometimes struggle to find words or lose motivation in their own projects. The key is not to judge yourself too harshly. Learning a language is not a test of your worth, it's a journey, and journeys have ups and downs. Another thing I want you to understand is that small progress is real progress. When you speak one extra sentence today, when you repeat one phrase you struggled with yesterday, when you show up even if you feel tired, all of that counts. You're training your brain, your mouth, your listening, your thinking in English. And even if it doesn't feel like it, these small moments are building a foundation for long-term growth. It's also okay to take breaks. Motivation is not a constant flame. It's more like a campfire that needs to be tended, and sometimes it smokes a little, sometimes it flickers. Taking a short pause, resting, and coming back tomorrow or the next day doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human, and it makes your learning sustainable. That's why I always encourage my listeners to practice gently, to give themselves grace, and to focus on consistency instead of intensity. So whenever you feel frustrated or tired, remember this: it's normal, it's expected, and it's part of the journey. What matters is that you keep showing up, even in small ways, and that you give yourself credit for every little step. That's how confidence grows. That's how learning becomes enjoyable instead of stressful. That's how you turn motivation from something fleeting into something you can rely on slowly, day by day. And that's why today, in this episode, I want you to leave with this thought: being human is enough. Making mistakes is enough. Speaking a little English every day, even when you don't feel like it, is enough. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present, consistent, and kind to yourself. And if you do that, you're already winning. All right, my buddies. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts and some small tips you can actually use immediately. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every little step counts. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up, practicing, and enjoying the process. First, let's talk about the simple habit of micro-speaking. Today, after this episode, I want you to spend 5 minutes talking to yourself in English. It can be as simple as describing what you're doing right now. I'm sitting on my chair. I'm drinking water. I'm listening to a podcast. Small sentences, repeated. Add one extra detail each time. This tiny practice builds confidence more than you might expect. Second, use scripts from your favorite shows or podcasts. Choose a short scene, read it out loud, act it, feel it, pretend you are the character. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just practice rhythm, pronunciation, and expression. The more you repeat it, the more your brain learns patterns of natural English. Third, track your progress in tiny ways. It can be as simple as marking the days you practice or recording yourself speaking a short sentence and then listening a week later. You'll be amazed how much improvement happens quietly behind the scenes without pressure. Fourth, connect English with things you love. If you like music, read lyrics, sing along. If you like movies or series, watch them with subtitles first, then try repeating lines. Make English part of your daily enjoyment. Motivation often comes from joy, not from forcing yourself. Finally, and very importantly, be gentle with yourself. Motivation will fluctuate. Energy will change. Some days will be harder than others. That's okay. Every little step counts. Every time you speak, repeat, or listen, you are moving forward. Every tiny effort builds a foundation that will hold for years. So, my challenge for you this week is this: choose one of these tips, practice it every day for at least 5 minutes, and notice how your confidence grows. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Focus on your journey. And remember, English is not a test. It's a way to connect, to express, and to enjoy communicating. thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you feel a little more confident, a little more motivated, and a little more excited to keep practicing. Keep speaking, keep showing up, and keep enjoying the process. I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, keep your English alive.